I don't have the ability.
I have things like, I have ways of heating up food, and I have everything I need to survive if the power goes out. And so
I have a
people plan
generator.
ahead.
So do I. I got Hungry Howie's down the street.
Yeah.
So I'm good there. No, it's aggravating. If I had straightforward answers and that sort of thing, but as Pastor Rick said, tons of vehicles not being used. And as Linda came in during the break showing us that magazine that they put out quarterly or whatever, and then you see those doggone commercials on TV all the time. You got a monopoly. Why are you advertising? Put that money into hiring somebody to fix my lines and clear my trees.
But to your point, Ken, it is a first world problem. We're not living or dying. It's not an outbreak of influenza. It's not, extreme poverty or walk a mile to get water. Well, except you had to drive a few miles to get water.
Yeah. Well, it's my fault.
Well,
I've never fixed my generator and got the hookup like I should.
We'll take care of that.
I look at it every year, and then I put it off.
Well, I have family members of mine that they live up in Montreal, Canada. Now, they had a situation years ago where a whole region, due to an ice storm, lost power for 5 weeks in the middle of winter, and everybody did just fine. And it's just the reality is just be prepared. Don't wimp out. I think if you can't go at least a week without worrying about having a generator, come on, people.
Yeah, you got to be ready. Like in my house, unfortunately, the plumbing is not exactly the way I would have laid it out. It's a 1968 home, and I'm sure that those building codes were not the way it was. So I don't have the valve that I can completely empty out which I would have done. I thought about it, and I figured out I did the best I could with what I could, but I couldn't empty all the pipes.
I'm on a slab.
But I really don't.
My pipes are in the attic.
Yeah, my heat's good, so I'm not worried about the heat. But it's electricity, and I do have a generator, and I do have a good neighbor, so I've managed. But my son, oh my gosh, Ken, my son was like, "Dad, you got power because I'm going to pick him up on Friday." I know he was angling. I don't want to come because I can't play a video game. I'll be bored. I'm like, dude, so we sat down, we ate dinner last night, and you know what, Ken? I broke out the Bible, and the eyes rolled. The eyes rolled in the back of his head, and I started quizzing him on Bible stuff, to get his base. He had most of the basics down, which surprised me. So we're not too bad.
Wow, see, it is an act of God.
I think part of the reason why you're seeing so many people have to get a generator or get one of these whole house generators is they're addicted to the internet, and oh my God, I can't access the internet. And so I'm going to panic now.
Yeah,
that's me.
That's exactly right. Well, thanks for the call, Ken. I appreciate it.
You take care, and people, don't be wimps.
That's right. Get prepared. Don't be a wimp. That's a great slug line there. All right, thanks, Ken. Appreciate the call. Let's take a call from Joe. Wants to talk about Michigan tax cut. Joe, welcome to the show.
Yeah, I looked at thedailydrift.com like I'm supposed to.
Yes.
And see that you have the link to Michigan Can Afford a Tax Cut article. So, yes, that's what I wanted to talk about. And first and foremost, I wanted to take the opportunity to rant and rave about the gas tax needing to be repealed. If we can afford a tax cut, then we can afford to roll that back because, of course, most of that isn't going to the roads anyway. It was a bait and switch to give Rhino Rick money for his Medicaid expansion, which is collapsing. So, and if the Republicans plan on trying to keep the state of Michigan Republican in the legislature, they really ought to look at that because they're at risk of pissing it away after ramming through this gas tax after we resoundingly defeated it.
Yeah, and if people aren't familiar, Michigan Capital Confidential, which I put links to every day on the Daily Drift because their stuff is that good. It's Michigan Can Afford a Tax Cut by James Homan, and it's a great article. Michigan Capital Confidential is a great resource for Michigan stuff anyway, sometimes international, but mostly all Michigan issues. And so I put at least 2 links every day to their site on the Daily Drift, so that's good stuff. But you're right, Joe. I mean, let's face it, the Republicans have really shot themselves in the foot on this with their special interests, with their garbage, Rhino Rick, and who was the guy down south here, the Randy Richardville.
Oh, yeah,
These worthless douchebags have just screwed the chances for the Republican Party in 2018. Yeah, I'm seeing there's going to probably be a big chunk of Democrats pick up in 2018, statewide anyways.
Yeah, that's what I'm afraid of, too, because we kept getting these promises. We need, again, I'll go off just on another tangent before going back. We need a real platform conservative Republican. We need to draft Patrick Colbeck for governor.
Yes.
Where have I
Get
heard
a
that
real
before?
one in there. 'Cause we could have afforded tax cuts for the last 6 years if Rhino Rick and the Michigan GOP establishment rhinos hadn't been ballooning our budget year after year after year. It keeps growing and growing and growing, and spending going up and up and up. There's never any fiscal restraint. The only fiscal restraint we've seen over the last 6 years was the cutting of the film incentives. That's the only restraint we saw.
Right.
That was
right.
crony capitalism. I'm not saying we should have protected it, because we're still getting films being made in the state. In fact, one of the more recent Marvel movies, I don't remember which one it was, partly took place in Detroit. And, there's been
I think it was
films still coming here without the incentives because it's a good place to do films.
Yeah. I think that was The Adventures of Captain Sissy Pants, starring Rhino Rick Snyder. That's what I'm thinking about.
When you need a setting for an apocalyptic post-war,
Come to Detroit. Yes.
go to Detroit. Yeah.
Welcome to Apocalypse Detroit. That's right. All right, Joe. Well, great stuff, man. I'm glad you're using the Daily Drift, and spread it around on Facebook for me, would you?
Yep.
Yeah. And before you go, I'm going to have to do my people. Go to crowdpack.com, look up Kid Rock, and endorse and put a couple of bucks in the kitty there to see if we can get him to run. You won't be charged unless he does run.
I did do that.
Yay, good for you. Yeah, I did too.
Put up a few bucks. We'll see what happens.
Hey, Joe.
Kid Rock for Senate 2018. Here we go. Yeah.
Bye-bye.
All right. Thanks, Joe. Take care.
Hey, Derek, would you play clip 4, please? Oh, sorry, caught you by surprise.
A firestorm in the central United States, Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, even parts of upper Colorado, it knocked out power to millions of people. Millions of people through Wisconsin, Michigan. Michigan may not be fully restored until Sunday. Nearly 800,000 customers were impacted.
That's us.
They've had 4,000 downed power lines. It's so bad up there, they've had to call in other utility crews from out of state. Kentucky, Ohio, Illinois, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Indiana. Plus the crews that are already in Michigan. They're working around the clock to restore power in Michigan.
Yeah. See, I'd like to see, just break them up into 2 or 3.
Just send you one.
Just yeah, and let them compete. You know, the guys that's clearing the lines the best gets more space. We may end up with a monopoly in the end, but at least it'll be the more efficient crew. You know what I mean?
When I was
The more
looking into
efficient
this, I was surprised that this same weather pattern had caused all these firestorms out west of us also. Other people are having their own issues too. The flames, any kind of fire outside, I don't know if they call them forest fires anymore, but they were getting whipped up by these high winds, making them even more worse.
Yeah, it's crazy. Well, anyways, so if you want to call into the show, we're going to go into a break in a minute here. But you had let's start talking about your Republican health care plan, which started this week, and Trump went out and said, hey, I kind of endorse this plan, but his tweet said, let's negotiate. It is negotiable, right? Mm-hmm. And so, like me and many other people, we said, wait a minute, we don't have our buying across state lines yet. We don't have this. We don't have that. And so a lot of conservatives and those Freedom Caucus people, Jim Jordan or whatnot, up in arms, Rand Paul, up in arms about it. Did you have that first...
Did you want to play that now?
Yeah, I think. Well, no, we're going to run out. We'll do it when we come back because we're going to run out of time. But for me, and I've been out of touch because of the power for the last 3 days. So one of the last things I heard was Paul Ryan coming on. Well, there's the break. You can't even get it out of me.
We will carry this discussion further.
Yes, we will see you on the other side of the break, and we'll start talking about it. Call in 734-822-1600. We'll see you on the other side.
People are always on the move, driving to work, hauling the kids to practice. How do they keep up to date? They listen to Wham Talk 1600 just like you. If you're a business owner, your message can reach these people wherever their travels take them. People tune to Wham Radio for intelligent conversation with hosts like Joe Pags, Glenn Beck, Tyrone X, and Dana Lesh. And they'll stay tuned for your message as well. Call 734-971-1600 today and advertise your business on Wham Talk 1600 and whamradio.com.
Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. We're learning more about the man arrested for scaling a fence and getting onto White House grounds.
Officials are telling us that this intruder does not have a criminal history, nor does he have any history with the U.S. Secret Service. So that's really the latest that we're hearing.
Fox's Kristen Fisher. President Trump, who was there at the time of the intrusion last night, today praising the Secret Service, calling the suspect a troubled person. Public health officials grappling with a mumps outbreak across the country.
Cases are currently reported in more than half of U.S. states, with more than 50 cases in Missouri and more than 100 in Arkansas. The CDC's Advisory Committee on Immunization Practices has assigned a work group to study how effective and practical a third vaccine dose would be in controlling or preventing future mumps outbreaks.
Fox's Jonathan Serry, Fox News. We report, you decide.
This is Mark with Ashleman Equipment. Need help with your property maintenance? Ashleman Equipment has LS tractor loaders ready to go. Power steering and hydro transmissions make driving fun and easy for the whole family. Want to stay out of the weather? Cab tractors with heat and AC in stock. Buckets, forks, snow blades are changed with just a pull of a lever. LS Tractor is the highest quality tractor in the U.S. and #1 in customer satisfaction, awarded by EDA for 2015 and again in 2016. Highest quality, more features standard, 5-year warranty, free loader, and 1.59% financing qualifying. Ashleman Equipment in Whitmore Lake is at exit 50 on US 23, just north of Ann Arbor. Call 734-994-6000. That's 734-994-6000.
It's 2017. If you're thinking about investing in your house, now is the time. Check out woodrehab.com or call 248-506-6175. Use this year's tax refund to spruce up your house. And what better way than upgrading your tired kitchen cabinets? Wood Rehab can give your kitchen cabinets a new look at a great price. Don't replace them. You can paint or refinish without emptying your cabinets in this very non-intrusive process, which averages 7 days from start to finish. Call 248-506-6175. Ask for Dave. Woodrehab.com will give you 10% off if you mention this ad. 2017 is a great year. Get it started with a brand new kitchen. Call 248-506-6175 or go to the web at woodrehab.com and get your kitchen renovation started today.
It's been 5 years since we met Kelly Brighton, just before her weight loss surgery.
I was almost 300 pounds. Because of the Michigan Bariatric Institute, I've lost the weight. I now have the tools to keep it off. I am a better mom, I am a better wife, and I'm just a better Kelly Brighton, I think.
Begin your journey. Try a free monthly educational seminar at St. Joe's Livingston. Visit stjoeshealth.org/MBI to learn more.
You're listening to The Drift on Wham Talk 1600. Join in the conversation at 734-822-1600. Now, back to your host, Gary Wellings.
And welcome back. Thank you for tuning in to The Drift and joining me in studio, Ed Bonderenka. It's Ed. So let's take a quick call from Jenny in Brownstown, who wants to give her little spiel about the power outage, probably wants to vent with the rest of us. Jenny, welcome to the show.
Hi, I just want to counter something that a caller said. He wasn't very sympathetic. The thing is, not everybody has a generator.
Jenny, are you a wimp?
Not everybody can get one.
Yes, I hear you.
And so it's like, and I know you know who I'm talking about.
Jenny,
Okay, so
do the lights out affect you seeing much?